morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Everything's internet. The earth is flat. It's like school. Internet.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe that dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. So what? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. You're listening to Iron Realm Media. I listen all the time, and it's the best truth show out there. Forget about the mainstream lying. Get your weekly dose of iron. Realm, that is. Stay woke, folks.
Hi, this is Alan. I like IRONWORX because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love IRONWORX with Josh, Walt, and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cozy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that IRONWORX with Josh, Walt, and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the IRONWORX.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the plane. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to Space Lettuce from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the IRONWORX with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the IRONWORX and become an Iron Scout.
Good morning, good morning. We talk the whole night through. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning to you.
Well, pitter patter, let's get at her.
And a happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the IRONWORX. Yeah, I actually woke up feeling pretty good this morning. That's a rare thing that I don't wake up dragging ass, feeling like I needed to get about 3 hours more sleep. But I'm here. I'm alive. And I've got internet service. What's up, Zack?
Yeah, must be nice. Walter can't find them internets.
He's on the hunt.
It's all over. I think the cat must have broke it off.
That's gotta suck. Who knows where the cat tore it up?
Yeah. And being on my phone means I can't really multitask and get in chat. I don't see an easy way for that to happen. Yeah, it takes some special skill. It ain't easy.
But I see you there, Ian and Craig and Andrew B, Billingtano, and Scotty Dog.
What's going on, everybody? Boys Club today.
It is the Boys Club today.
Oh, did you guys see? Oh, no, maybe I'll save that one for a little bit later. Our interstellar visitor may have just changed color for the third time.
Again?
What do you mean may have? Yeah.
It just changed on Monday. Or over the weekend or some shit. It turned more blue. It was red, went behind the sun, came out the sun, and it was blue. It was more blue than the sun was. Whatever the fuck that means. But you're saying now it's changed yet again?
Yeah, they're saying this is the third time experts have seen the comet's coloring shift since it was discovered. I don't know what color it's going to yet, though. I haven't gotten there. And blah, 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 this is the third time. Potential change comes in which blah, blah, blah. Okay. They're saying it may be developing a bluish hue after undergoing a rapid and unexpected brightening event while hidden behind the sun. Isn't that just perfect?
Yeah. Sounds to me like that's the same color change we had earlier this week.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe it started blue and then it went to red and now it's going back to blue. So is that a color change or is that a color shift back to what it was?
I mean, I call it the same, I suppose. A color changed back to what it was would be just as...
Yeah, I guess.
The exact same as a color shift back to what it was.
And the old Voyager discovered a 30,000 to 50,000 Kelvin wall at the edge of our solar system. Right. I was just watching Bob's thing on the inverse square
Seen that about
radio
8 times.
Huh?
Isn't that turning into the new space lettuce that they told us about the impenetrable barrier beyond this, everything over there?
This isn't the first time we've heard about it. Now they're learning more data, though. We're getting more data of what's going on out there. I love that.
As if,
so there's a new...
I was just going to say, if living on a prison planet wasn't bad enough.
Now we're in a prison solar system. So I guess the new thing is to go to Disney to commit suicide.
I can appreciate that.
Wow.
They've had 4 in the last month. Now they say...
Ask me, if I had to spend 2 weeks at Disneyland, ask me how I'd end up.
Yeah, 3 guests died within a 10-day period last month. All reported suicides. They don't say how. They just say they were reported as suicide. No signs of foul play in any of them. They make that clear.
No ducks playing baseball.
Yeah. So she didn't jump off a building. They're saying their favorite way to do it is to jump off a building. But she died in a hospital. A nearby hospital. But it doesn't say, like, what happened. There is no... So the most recent death involved a man in his 60s, whose manner of death was ruled a suicide. He was found at Disney's Contemporary Resort located near Magic Kingdom. Before that, a man in his 60s died from pre-existing medical conditions. At the campground. And a 31-year-old Disney superfan died at the Contemporary Resort in what authorities reportedly called an apparent suicide. So since 1971, we're talking
52, 53 years?
Yeah. Over 50 years, 68 people have died at Walt Disney World. 4 of them have been in the last month. And Disney's attendance plunges to all-time low as visitors report ghost towns at parks. So this is their excuse. There's a weird phenomenon where people who are severely depressed but want to have one last good, happy family memory will go to Walt Disney World. The Disney Wish podcast told The Post. This was back in 2022. Now, I'm sorry, but there are barely any families that go to Disney World anymore. It's weird, but it's all adults who appear to be stuck in like this Arrested Development. They don't have children. This is like 60+% of the people who go to Disney World now. I have family members like this. I'll just say that. They don't take the kids. They have children, but they go to see the Harry Potter and the this and the that. And then he goes on to say they'll deliberately book a room at the Contemporary Resort, which is 14 stories tall. And after that happy family time, they will throw themselves off the building. And then further details about the most recent death have not been released. And Disney did not respond to the request for a comment on the matter. Now, have you guys ever heard of this? People going to Disney to off themselves?
No, not till right now.
Yeah. Disney might have themselves a serial somebody.
Didn't they have a serial somebody down your way, Walter? Didn't I see a headline couple weeks back? Them finding bodies out there somewhere. I think there's been a couple different places.
There's always one or two floating around out here. No, I don't know. Did you drop the story?
No, I don't think I did. Let me see if I can't take a look. Fine.
I also have a friend who has been trying for the last 20 fucking years to talk us into going with them, grown ups, no kids. Now, don't get me wrong, every fourth or fifth trip, they'll take their daughter, their grown daughter, or both their grown daughters who now have kids, and they'll bring their kids, and it's all a big family to do, but that's not why they're there. It's there to see let me think what it was. I couldn't believe, I was astounded. It was coming out of his mouth. I was like, come on, dude, really? Oh, it was something about a Minnie Mouse's house. And then you go in it, and I'm like, was it a ride or something? He's like, no, you go in there and you just look around at it and stuff. And I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, you go in there and it's like made up, like a house, and it's Minnie's house. I'm like, and what are you doing in there? Just looking around. I'm like, why? Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, and the cookie smell coming out of that. There's a cookie smell coming out of the oven as though Minnie had just walked out of the kitchen and had cooked some cookies. I'm like, what is going on right now? And of course, that was like at the height of me, like really starting to. Let me make sure I'm not lying here. Oh, actually, no, that was pretty flat because I was working on the boat. I was still on the boat. That was like 2010, the last time I worked on the boat. So yeah, that was even before Flat Earth, and I was still, in the world of like, I was aware of a whole lot of shit, but I wasn't like really like, oh, what? So I was just stunned in the, like, you're a grown up. What the fuck are you talking about aspect of it? Not in the, oh, that's demons loose in a mind controlled field of, psychosis. I didn't know all that yet. Now I know all that too. And it's like, it's Lord. I don't doubt that people are trying to see if they can fly.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning,
Hi
Andrew.
there, Andrew.
I am super tired right now, but I think this is an interesting subject or topic to bring up because I think there's what's the saying they have, like the happiest place on earth or something like that, Disneyland. But meanwhile, people are going there to off themselves, which is very odd. I don't know how that would.
The children are, This is where you take children. Not a place to go off yourself, in my opinion. Just saying.
I would agree. I mean, unless it's like, I don't know, some sort of a twisted type of ceremonial thing that like the Japanese do. They have like suicide.
Yeah, that'd be different, but jumping off a building, I mean, you're going to be found, right? There's chance that a child is going to see it. Why would you do it there? Jump off a bridge.
Some people are just sadistic, I suppose. And if you're saying that there's a certain amount that are doing it as of late, I hope that's not going to become like a trend.
4 deaths in the last month. 3 were considered suicide, and 1 was due to natural causes, supposedly, that he had already had pre-existing, causing.
Well, one thing I can say about going to Disneyland, and I've been to Disneyland multiple times, is that when you're standing in line to go on a 1-minute roller coaster, but you're standing in line for close to 2 hours in some cases, yeah, I mean, that's like, you just want to leave? That's kind of how I was. Or I think some people will probably like, fuck it. I don't know. That's kind of a twisted type of a way to explain that, but or some people just want to do it because they're sadistic and have no I don't like talking about suicide because I've seen a lot of stories about that in the VA. But at Disneyland, that's like the weirdest place to do it. Or maybe the most creative.
Yeah, it's just, we need to open up the institutions again. We really do.
I totally agree.
Holy crap. Dude, I was scrolling since I have my phone in my hand, literally. I was kind of scrolling my feed to see if there was anything I had not thrown in our pile to talk about. And I've got a story now, 10 hours ago. A woman, that was a man you just said had died, last one.
I think so, yeah.
So now a woman has been found dead. Is Century Resort, is that it?
I don't think it said on Zack's story.
Oh, okay, because I thought yours was a man, and this is definitely a woman talking about it.
Yeah, no, there was 1 woman and 3 men, I believe, in the last month.
Wow, well, so this is the lady they're talking about, her. That's who it is. So, yeah. Oh, and later in the story, it does mention the 3 other people. So, yeah, they're just covering it all, getting all the click they can out of it.
Yeah, you would think this wouldn't be something they would want out unless they want.
Story with her as the lead, the tag, whatever. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say they might be putting this out to have more people come and do this. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but why else would you let a bunch of people know that, hey, people are coming to our park to commit suicide? Ain't that neat?
Yeah,
it's
hopefully that's
horrible
not going to be like one of their promotional things. Like, hey, come to Disneyland. You might see someone kill themselves on purpose.
Or if you want to off yourself, do it while you're happy, surrounded by us.
Yeah, a little LSD. Here you go. And it's twisted. But yeah, it's weird. I've never heard of anyone doing that. At Disneyland, at least.
It's crazy that Walt would get another story completely unrelated to Zack's.
I know.
It's a small world after all.
Oh, I fucking hate Disneyland. If you go into certain areas of the theme park, they have these loudspeakers that are just blasting certain songs on repeat. And if I was an employee there, I wouldn't last very long. And the only person that I've ever known, I have an ex-coworker that used to be an electrician there, but then Chris Crum, from his whole YouTube channel and whatnot, and he used to actually perform music there, working at Disneyland. Said he was there for like 3 or 4 years or something like that. And I was just like, oh, dude, I couldn't do that. No way.
Yeah. No way.
So here's something else, a little more lighthearted, I suppose. So Trump,
More lighthearted than people often say.
yeah, I mean, how much worse can we really get? We were saying Halloween's already over, so. Trump nominates billionaire Jared Isaacman for NASA chief again. Jared's passion for space, astronaut experience, and dedication to pushing the boundaries of exploration, unlocking the mysteries of the universe, and unlocking the new space economy. What the fuck? The space economy, whatever. Make him ideally suited to lead NASA into a bold new era. And it just goes on from there. It's just like, it's just like using these old pictures and stuff from previous things you would recognize very quickly. So it's not new information or new pictures. But yeah, Trump, billionaire, nominates another billionaire. So there's my space lettuce for the time being.
Yeah, the guy at work, I was talking with him yesterday. He was talking about space lettuce, and because we were talking about that. Oh yeah, they reached the edge of the universe and found this. He's like, "Isn't that an old story? Haven't we heard that before?" I was like, "Oh yeah, we call that space lettuce." He just started cracking up.
So I've not even heard. Didn't even think to look. Who's the new mayor in New York? Anybody know?
I did not look. Let me check.
I did actually check that out only because Zoran Mastami or
Mommy and Daddy?
Yeah.
Zoran Mommy and Daddy, I think is how he pronounces his name.
Yeah, and he's an out and out communist and hates America, and yeah, I don't know a whole lot about him. I don't follow that kind of stuff, but I don't think it's going to be very long until someone ops him.
Yeah, it says he won. Donnie won. He wants to start state-run grocery stores
again.
Like they worked out so well,
right?
They just worked out great.
That's what we need are a whole bunch of empty grocery stores because food deserts. There's just not enough food here, so we need to bring in some grocery stores that'll sit here emptied, so that people have a good idea of where they should be able to go to get food.
Look at it like a museum. This is where we used to go. We called it a food library. This is where you went to check out food.
The way that I always think about it is it's part of one of these UN agendas, at least in my opinion, and according to the UN as well. Like, what are we going to do? We want to destroy a certain area of the world. How do we do it? Put him into, I think he won by like a large amount of electoral votes, if that's even a real thing. Yeah, I think that New York is going to definitely be going downhill from this point forward.
Yeah, it looks like he took it. He did get 50% of the votes, which I think was considerably more than I think they were even projecting. But Andrew Cuomo got 41.6, which is a hell of a lot more, I think, than they were projecting for him. Seems that... So, Zoran Mommy and Daddy got 1,036,000 votes. Andrew Cuomo got 854,995 votes. And then Curtis Sliwa got 146,137 votes. And then there's a few others that kind of came in there with less than 1%. But that's still only like just over 2 million people.
Yeah, and I think there's 9 or 10 million people that live in New York City.
I think it's supposed to be like 9 to 10. 9, yeah, I'll look it up right now, but I'm pretty sure it's even above 10 now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The last time I voted was...
They're losing people big time.
Oh,
I was in the military.
They're about to
Over 20
siphon a
years.
bunch. Go ahead, Andrew.
I was just saying, the last time I voted was like 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. And I don't think there's any point in voting. Like, my one little tiny snippet of information is not going to do anything. But I will, just for shits and giggles, in the 2028 presidential, or I'm not really sure how to do it exactly, but I will be running for president or for Congress. And even if I get elected, I'm going to decline it and just be like, fuck off. I was just messing with you. I was just trolling the candidacy system.
I don't really want to be president. You people are all idiots.
Oh, it sounds terrible to have that job. I don't want to hold any political office whatsoever. You know how you can make more money than a politician? Running a business. Like, restaurant owners make more than politicians do. Yeah, they work really hard, but they actually earn it. Fuck those people. Oops, I said that out loud.
So as of 3:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Proposition 50, the yes vote, holding on to the lead in San Joaquin County. The yes vote on Prop 50 held the lead in San Joaquin County, showed the latest wave of election results posted as of 12:19 a.m. on Wednesday. Tally of early results from the November 4th election had 68,683 votes, or 53.3% in favor of the statewide redistricting proposition, and only 60,066, or 46.7% against it. So I'll be curious to see if they... Because that's one of the big things that's on the ballot across the country yesterday, I think, were a lot of redistricting lines. At least I know here in Missouri it was an issue as well. So I'd be real curious.
Well, yeah, the next census is going to be interesting because there were so many illegals that were counted this last census that we had. Like, even if they don't have the right to vote, they still get counted as a person in the census. So if you have 20 million illegals, say, well, we'll just say 10 million in California, the representatives in California, you know, the number of seats and all that kind of stuff that get to vote for presidential elections, the electoral college and all that, is determined by how many people are living in that state. Not by how many registered voters it has, but just by how many people. You can even be on vacation from another country and you will be counted in the census. Make that make sense. Shouldn't it just be registered voters, citizens, people who, you know, are supposed to be here should be counted? Not people visiting from other countries that plan on going back. I mean, we're talking about, you know, electoral college votes. A pretty big deal in this country. In the way we, you know, pick our next president. So that makes the 20 million illegals that moved to that moved to Chicago and New York and LA and San Francisco and all these blue sanctuary cities. That's just giving them more, oomph behind their electoral college. I never knew that. I just found that out earlier this week. Like, wait a minute, what? We count visitors, people from foreign countries that, are just here visiting, family or something like that. They get counted in the census? How? Why? What? I don't get it. Yeah, it's getting a little loud here. I'm going to have to jump up for a sec.
All right.
Do you guys remember or recall, whatever, which president said presidents are selected, not elected? There's an actual U.S. president that said that.
Well, shit, they didn't even try to hide it. The last one, how many people voted for Kamala to be the nominee for the Democrats? Oh, 0? There wasn't one? You just got selected? This is China now, folks. The Democratic Party worried about democracy. Well, where was the democracy when you picked who was going to run for your president? Which people got to vote? Because apparently nobody did. Oh, it's infuriating.
Yeah, well, China's a little bit of a different situation because what is their political? Is it still communist or something else?
Well, they say they're a republic.
Right.
But we say they're a communist dictatorship. So it all depends on who you're at.
Well, North Korea is a democratic totalitarian, North Korea at least.
Moron.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I looked that up as one of my trivia questions, and I was like, holy shit. How does that even work? But in China, which I don't know how much different it is, there's other parts of the world, such as India, who some estimates are some people saying that India's population will surpass China's population here in a few years. And India has, like, every single one of their states has a completely different type of government political system. Hence the reason
they're saying China is a unitary communist state. Unitary.
What the fuck does that mean?
The party controls all branches of government, from the executive to the judiciary. The country is led by a single party with Xi Jinping serving as the general secretary of the CPC and president. The Communist Party of China.
So it is still communist. Okay.
So a party state, the party and government hierarchies are deeply intertwined at all levels, from the national to local administration. So they got that shit locked down. So they don't have like two party system. The CPC is the only ruling party. And while there are other minor parties, they are subordinate to the CPC. Jeez. Now, I've heard this. I don't know how true it is, but like, you don't get to run for office over there. You get selected to run for office, and then they vote on the people who are selected by the government. So it's kind of like multiple choice. You don't really get to choose your own answer. You get to choose one of the answers they already have out there for you. Here's a list of people. Now you choose your leader. Well, we want this guy who's not on the list. Yeah, he's not on the list, so he doesn't count. You can't vote for him.
Well, isn't that kind of similar to what we're doing here in the United States right now?
I mean, if you look at it monetarily, yeah. They say to run for Congress and win, it's going to cost you about $2 million minimum. Now, what average person has $2 million to put towards towards the campaign? Just to get your name out there and recognized enough from the people living around you will cost you about $2 million to go up against one of the other congressional candidates who have a bunch of money, people backing them.
No, I get what you're saying, but one of the things I learned when I was in high school, because we had to do community service hours, I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. One of the things I did was I volunteered at a voting center in order to graduate in my senior year. And what I saw, I had never voted before, but I was seeing everyone's their voting ballots, which we had to like stamp them in or whatever the fuck it was, and then put them into this bin. And you could like check a certain box, like who you want to be in certain positions, like congressionally or presidentially, or there was a blank spot at the bottom of the ballot, the voting ballot, and you could write in anybody. So I actually grabbed one of them and I just filled it in randomly, and I put Donald Duck. And I just put that in the bin. You can write anybody in there you want.
Yeah, I'm sure Mickey Mouse gets a certain amount of votes every year, I heard, and Jesus Christ.
That would be... I wonder what would happen if...
Pretty much on it. Oh, if everybody chose Jesus? I don't know.
Yeah.
That'd be a wild one.
Like, what?
In a turn of events, Jesus is now our president, folks. Anybody know where he's at?
Well, that makes me think of the newest South Park episodes where Jesus Christ is now the new school counselor for South Park Elementary. Not sure if you guys have seen those episodes, but that's what happened. Mr. Garrison, that's not Mr. Garrison, Mr. Mackey, he's not the counselor anymore. He works for ICE now, and Jesus Christ is the new school counselor. Yeah, just what would happen? Would they just call that a nullified type of an election? Or if you named someone's dog that passed away 20 years ago? I have no idea how that would work. But I think the American people should start trolling the U.S. government a little bit more. I'm not really inclined to be a troll in any shape, way, or form. Aside from that, the voting system needs to be trolled a little bit more and tested just for its legitimacy, and also just to fuck with the system a little bit. And it's already fucking with us. Pardon my language.
Well, couldn't we just take a good long look at the number of registered voters that decided to abstain? Like, why is abstaining from your vote not counted? What's the number of people that just took a look at this and said, ain't no fucking way I'm participating in this bullshit? Like, if a majority of the people aren't voting, what does that tell you in a democracy?
So here's my question in regards to that same thing. So there's 4 of us currently in the voice chat. Have you guys voted any time in the last few elections, presidential elections?
No.
Never voted once.
There was one?
Exactly.
There was one? I voted in the 2008 election. That was when Obama was.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yeah. And that's when I wrote in Donald Duck as the president. I'm really, unfortunately, disappointed that Donald Duck is not the president, but that would have been pretty cool. But yeah, it's just like when people are going to be voting for someone, they have in a small little like city council type of situation. I think that those are going to be more or less much easier to actually make legitimate versus something very large scale, which is easy to control and manipulate and falsify. So that's why, like, voting to me is just it's pointless. I'd rather just like rearrange my sock drawer. Some people are like, "Oh yeah, gotta go down and vote. Gotta go down and vote." Like, all right, good luck. And one thing that you can also do, anyone can do this, just like I was saying previously, is you can volunteer to work at a voting booth. The majority of the majority of the people that are volunteering for that are going to be teenagers that are like I was at the time.
I was in high school. I got out of high school for a day to do that.
No, I didn't. No, for me it was on the weekend. So I didn't get out of high school for that one. But yeah, when you actually see the voting process and how it works and everything, that's like, wow, okay. I wasn't even eligible to vote at the time. So I was only 17. But anyone can do it. And it's all old people.
All old.
The majority of the people that are there are 60 plus years old.
I sat there all day, would mark off names when they would come in, and I drew a picture of a duck in a pond on a lily pad. And still see it. That's what I spent my day with.
So you were, again, Donald Duck. All right. Very similar to what I was voting for.
Yeah, I was not impressed. And this was before they had any digital anything. It was all paper ballot. Who was running for president then? I think that was 96, so probably Clinton.
96, I think so, because that was 96 was Clinton. That was his second term, and then after that it was George Bush Jr., who had 2 terms. And after that it was Obama for 2 terms. After that it was, the orange man.
Zach, did you hear about that story out of McKinney, Texas?
On what?
The story out of McKinney, Texas?
No.
So I guess there were some cop watchers. Well, it's the James Freeman story. Have you heard the latest? He was arrested for telling a cop to shut up. They were just doing a basic cop watch, standing on the sidewalk.
I saw that. James Freeman?
Uh-huh. And they arrested him, stole his camera. Like, didn't want to give it back, claimed it to be evidence or some shit. They needed to get a warrant. He was willing to give them everything on there, but they wanted to hold it and not give it back because they wanted to get a warrant to get inside. But, yeah, I think he spent a few hours in jail. So, after having taken a look at it, his attorney decided to, well, I think the amount they settled on was like $98,000 and change is what they were suing the city of McKinney, Texas for arresting James Freeman unlawfully. But James, in his infinite patience, has decided to offer McKinney, Texas, a settlement for $1. He would settle the entire case of his unlawful arrest for $1.
Yes.
If they change the name of McKinney, Texas to James Freeman, Texas. All they have to do is rename their entire town to James Freeman, and they can settle this court case for $1.
I love him.
Yeah, that shit had me rolling.
I swear, dude, I saw him at a Flattoberfest.
Now, there's a guy out there, a former law enforcement guy, who teaches like street self-defense type stuff, who looks an awful lot like James Freeman too, to be fair. To be fair.
I know, but this is when he had the big red-orange
same
beard.
I mean, it's a bald guy. I mean, kind of lanky, big orange beard with some gray in it. Yeah.
And I wasn't like super into his channel yet, so I just went up. Was like, "Are you the First Amendment auditor guy?" And of course, even if he was, James would say no. That's just James. But I swear it was him, man.
If you'd have asked him, I think, aren't you the guy that exposes the fact to the public that the government can do whatever the fuck they want because they've got the monopoly on violence? Aren't you that guy? He might say, yeah, that's me.
Yep, that's me. It's James Freeman. You change your name to James Freeman, Texas. I love it.
Was that the same guy that got involved into the whole cryptocurrency scam situation? Is that him?
No.
Don't believe so.
Forget what the guy's name is. It was one of my trivia questions. Now I'm fucking myself up. Yeah, some young Jewish dude, 25 years in prison for $9 billion of crypto scamming. His fucking name.
I forget. I know who you're talking
about. My eyelids are getting really heavy right now. I should be in bed.
Yep.
So here's my question for everyone. Everyone currently in the voice chat and everyone in chat and to everyone that I ever talk to in regards to what are they doing on voting day. I don't care who they're voting for. I say, how do you know your vote is actually legitimate? Is it legitimate? How do you know it's being counted?
You can't know.
Yeah, people don't know. I worked at a polling booth, a voting booth. I was at a voting location. It was in the auditorium of an elementary school on the weekend. Yeah, no one knows. By the way, the answer to the
how many people do you think have friends, right? They have friends that are all either Republican or Democrat. They say they're going to vote either Republican or Democrat, just like their friends in circles and stuff. But when they go into the voting booth, they actually vote the opposite.
Friedman, is that who it was? Andrew?
The young Jewish dude, the scammed a bunch of people. Yeah, it might have been Friedman. Yeah. It was one of the trivia questions I had when it was Jaron versus Weiss. But Sam Bankman or something. I forget what his name is. But yeah, it's like a lot of people will go into these voting areas, and it's just because it makes them feel like they're doing something important, but in reality, they just wasted their own time. And I will never, ever vote for anything ever again. I don't even care if it's at my job. I'm like, non-participant. But for some reason, people, they think that quick little check mark on this piece of paper or that little spot on the screen, the digital screen, is going to make an importance. Oh, I won, I lost. I don't give a shit.
So
and George Carlin did it.
Is it really safe to say then, Andrew, that there is absolutely no way for us to know that our vote is not being counted?
Well, that's a counter argument. Yeah, that good point. But I wouldn't say that. I would say if I am doing something, I want to know that it's actually being counted and it's productive versus the contrary.
And how could you do that? What would that look like?
I have no idea.
Like you want to stand there and have somebody hold your vote up? All right, Andrew Baker voted for Donald Trump. Everybody see? Look, hold it in front of the camera. Everybody see? That's who Andrew Baker voted for. That's 2,976,741. Next.
Well, yeah, I think that that's a valid point, actually. I think that voting should not be anonymous. It should be public. That's the only way that it could actually be counted correctly, if it was even valid to begin with.
So it sounds to me like what we ought to do is just repeal the 19th and start over fresh.
Wait, the 19th, that's women's suffrage. And then there's the 14th as well, which is allowing the black slaves to allow to vote.
Well, it wasn't just women's suffrage, it was universal suffrage. It was like Oprah Winfrey style voting. Before the 19th, there were very specific requirements that needed to be met before you could cast a vote. After the 19th, it was you get a vote, and you get a vote, and everybody gets a vote.
You get a car. Fucking Oprah.
And this is why when you go out there and you look at all these 18-year-old kids that don't pay attention one lick to at least what they say is going on there in D.C., they're just fucking off and doing nothing. They get to cancel out your vote. Your well-informed vote now means fuck all because they just let any old motherfucker cast a vote.
I forget what the guy's name is, but he's one of these, man on the street kind of interviewers. And he was walking around at these universities during a graduation day. And he was only interviewing, for the most part, young women graduating with a bachelor's degree in whatever field of study they were going into. And he asked them, do you think that we should abolish women's suffrage? Which is, women's suffering is not the same as women's suffrage. Suffrage is the term used to allow women to vote. Back in 1871 or something like that. I forget what year it was. And it was written into law.
Because they couldn't get it to pass by vote.
Yes, we should abolish it.
They couldn't get enough women to pass it by vote. Most women didn't want the right to vote. So every time they tried to get it to pass by vote, women wouldn't vote for it. Because women wouldn't vote for suffrage, they had to force it into law. No, actually, now you have to vote, is how that came about.
Yeah, it's
the creature from Jekyll Island. I think the creature from Jekyll Island is the same creature that came up with universal suffrage. It's the industrialists. Look what it did to the wages. Drove wages down so far because you just flood the market with employees. That's one of the main reasons one of the main arguments about open borders. You can't just have all these new employees on the market. It makes the value of an employee go down. If you've got one position to fill and only 3 people coming in, then those 3 people can help determine the wage of that job. If you've got one position to fill and 500 applicants coming in, well, who's hungriest? Who wants it the most? Who's going to do it for the least amount of money? That's who we're going to hire. And that's why you can't get a house and a car and raise 2.5 kids with your wife and a dog all on one salary anymore, because the wages were driven down by the influx of women in the workforce.
Yo.
What up, Craig?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm
How
all
you
right.
doing, man?
Better than I deserve, as they say.
So my brother.
That's good.
Craig, I've heard from some people, I don't know if it's true, that you switched back to believing the Earth is a sphere. Is that correct?
Yes, it's been a while, actually.
All right. So why?
The sun. And some other thing. But I already know you guys don't agree with me, so it's okay.
So the sun, okay. It's okay. We can disagree on things. I like disagreeing on different things. I'm not trying to bring up hostility or anything.
Yeah, no.
But I'm just wondering, like, at what point was it like the whole...
I'm not good at explaining things, frankly.
Was it before TFE or after TFE?
Oh, no, after. I was wrestling for a long time.
So it's associated with that. Okay.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, I hit that.
No problem. I'm not going to hold it against you. Just saying that.
Yeah.
You're here, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah, I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave. You guys.
And we surely wouldn't want you to.
And I still I was watching Saab last night. I still watch Saab. So talking about the voting, he brought up a really good point. He said they should have a none of the above option. And I totally agree with that.
Well, that doesn't really tell us anything, though.
Well, we would know who's not voting, we're trying to do.
Well, we would know who didn't want any of those people to be in charge.
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, you would want to know, okay, well, if not them, then who? Right? Great. You don't want these people, but tell me who then? And that's what I think the write-in's choice is for. Is for all the people who say, well, none of the above, but here's who it should be. As opposed to saying, well, I don't want to participate in this at all. And I think participating in it to let them know that you don't want to participate is probably not the best way to do it. I think complete non-participation is the only real way to not participate.
Oh, I'm with you there. It's just maybe it's a way to get more people to not vote, and then they'll step away. I don't know. Because I'm with you. People need to just stop voting.
Hey, Craig, I got a question for you. If you were to, for some weird, abstract, like, phenomenon, you were actually nominated and won the presidential election for 2028, what would you do?
I have thought about that, too.
Yeah, like your agenda kind of situation.
It's like little shit. Like, I mean, I would work on homeless problem immediately and the veterans. It's like, you know, the shit we actually need. No more fucking foreign aid.
That's a pretty political answer for the homeless, Craig. What would you do for the homeless?
Israel can fuck off. I just had to say that. Wait, what were you saying, Jack?
I was asking you what you would do for the homeless. How do you solve the homeless problem?
Well, I don't know. I'm not trying to solve it. I just mean I don't think I don't think much is being done now. So I would do more.
More what?
I would stop going to space. NASA would be cut off tomorrow. You know, the next. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of organizations would be fucking cut off and done.
I think it brings us back to the fact that we need to just bring back mental institutions.
I'm an anarchist. You don't want me as president. I'm an anarchist. So shit's gonna get crazy with me.
I think anarchists might be some of the best presidents.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be chaotic. I'm just saying, but I would be. You know.
Yeah, if I had to choose a ruler, I would definitely make sure I would vote for the ruler that's an anarchist. That way, I voted for an anarchy ruler.
Are you being serious or are you fucking with me, Jeff?
Oh, I'm fucking with y'all because I think anarchy would mean without rulers. You wouldn't be voting for anybody. There would be no ruler. No president would be an anarchist because as an anarchist, he would not be president.
Yeah, it's a double entendre.
Well, I'd be a very flim-flam president as an anarchist. I wouldn't really be in control. I'd have henchmen and stuff.
I would be the worst president because I would pretty much just appoint a whole bunch of people. They're going to be like, "Hi, I don't really give a shit. Do whatever you want." And I'm going to hang out at Mar-a-Lago the entire fucking time. Like, I don't even give a shit until you just basically expel me from the presidency. And I'm like, "Oh, cool."
I'd be putting all you guys in the position. So there you go. That's one thing too.
Yeah, but
Andrew,
NASA I would abolish immediately, and all of that money would be going towards a better cause because NASA is pointless, worthless, and does nothing except.
I would make you head director of NASA, and then do what you want with it.
Oh, I would fuck up that organization even worse than just abolishing it.
Yeah,
I'd be the only employee there. Everyone would get fired. I'd be the only one there. I'd be like and then just selling stuff like on eBay and shit.
There's another thing I would do. I'd make you head of NASA.
All right. Well, you can write my name in, and I'm going to get a website started. I got a couple years to figure out how to do this. But either way,
I had a relative was head of NASA for a while, Charles Bolden. I'm totally kidding. I don't know him. And he spells his name differently. But he used to be head of NASA for a while.
I think it was James Bowden, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but it was B-O-L, and mine is B-O-U-L.
Oh, that, okay.
I'm saying, yeah. He's probably related to me. Okay, get me wrong.
I would actually argue, I see that Shlomi, you're saying somewhere. Anarchy is the rule of the one with the gun. which is tyranny by definition. Well, I would say that's not what anarchy is. I think a lot of anarchists prescribe to some silly, like, non-aggression principle, which I think would be more towards the exact opposite of the one with the gun, saying you can't.
Some are aggressive, though. Aren't they? Isn't that the position of some?
Well, some do not. Yes, there are others that don't practice the NAP. But for the most part, I think...
What's the NAP?
Non-aggression principle.
Okay.
Whereupon you don't aggress upon anybody. You have the right to defend yourself. But you don't have the right to aggress and force your will upon anybody else. And that's where this idea of anarchy just sort of falls apart. I'd say what we have right now is he who has the gun wins, or he who has the most guns wins, or he who has the guns and can manipulate them best and fastest and carry the most ammunition wins.
That is very
I'd
correct.
also take us back to the Wild West. Everybody just wears fucking guns.
Okay, so
everyone. You know what I'm saying?
If you want to go back to the Wild West,
then you know what you're dealing with.
Is there any place in the world throughout history where anarchy survived and was dominant and succeeded?
Nope.
There's a little spot between Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan, I think. Eastern European something or other. There's like this area that no country claims ownership of, and it is the Wild West out there, I guess. I would consider that the closest thing to anarchy we have.
Where's this again?
The Middle East.
Eastern Europe, those old Russian that broke off. Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, one of those over there.
It's right
There's
above-
an area between two of them.
Right above Iraq and Afghanistan, and it's by Iran. And Stan, by the way, just means of the land. People that are of that land. That's what it means. But either way, there are many different cultures throughout time and currently, such as the Amish and different tribes, primitive tribes.
The Amish are crazy.
Yeah, well, they still have a certain form of government, meaning that the elders and then the children. So it still exists, whether or not it's Democratic, Republican, or whatever, anything else, it still exists. So without rule, it just seems to. That's what anarchy is.
But even then, you can't have it without rule. Someone will rule.
Yeah, that's my point. Anarchy is a failed type of an ideology. And no offense, Craig, but I think it's an incredibly interesting concept, but it doesn't work.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm kind of being hypothetical here. I know it would probably never really work. Humans are fucking idiots. You know what I mean?
No, the same thing happens with animals.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, some things we aren't meant for. It's weird. Yet, it intrigues me.
And to be fair, Andrew, that's not much of an argument. As far as arguments go.
Has anybody ever really claimed anarchy, though? You know what I'm saying? As like a,
not much recently.
Like
I'm sure once upon a time,
republic.
Yeah, there were a bunch of political movements that were anarchy. Yeah, like real political movements, but it's not been any time terribly recently, as far as legitimate.
Yeah, how far back you think? I'm just curious.
I would say less than 100 years, if I were to guess. Just to venture a guess, I would say less than 100 years ago.
That would make.
And that's somewhere in the world, like somewhere in maybe the French Revolution, there were probably a bunch of anarchists that were trying to bring forth their political movement.
Yeah. Right.
There's an interesting movie that you can watch. It's called SLC Punk. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about that. It's Salt Lake City Punk. this guy who graduates from law school, and he's a total anarchist, and his father is also a lawyer, but he just goes into the whole punk rock scene. And he puts forward some pretty compelling arguments in regards to anarchy in the movie. But ultimately, he changes his mind because he realizes that anarchy doesn't work.
Anarchy
sort of
comes
like-
from male privilege. I think I'd say
never heard of that.
anarchy. Well, I'm just thinking, how many women do you think come up with the idea of anarchy?
Yeah.
Thinking like, you know what? The strongest, most powerful man, no, the strongest, most powerful human being is going to rule. The group of the group of people that are the strongest and most powerful to rule. That's the way we should live. Says the person that will never fit into that category. Like it's pretty unlikely that they think that's going to be, the best way to run things. Like that sort of mentality is only going to be coming from that group of people that will be able to hold the power in an anarchy.
Yeah, right. So yeah,
do that in a little bit.
So it's a very
one
masculine
that-
way of thinking.
No, it actually makes sense. Like, who holds the biggest stick makes the rules.
But at the end of the day, that's what it all is. No matter what you have, that's going to be it. That's the idea of the patriarchy. And the benevolence of the patriarchy.
That's very valid.
Like we are, as men, the strongest and most powerful, thereby the most well equipped to be in charge. But do we do it? Like, do we just stomp around on everybody's rights and just wield the biggest stick in this sort of anarchist state? No. In our benevolence, what we said was, women, as a matter of fact, even though you don't want to, you still get to have a say. We're going to surrender some of these responsibilities that we have and spread them out to you.
Well, the male and female dynamic is definitely going to be divided, where we have...
Yes, that's the point, because the women will never be able to legitimately be in charge. Women will always be subservient to men because that's just the nature of it. Like women's rights had to come from somewhere, didn't they? Women can only get their rights from men. Women can't just band together against the men and say, no, you bastards, we're taking these rights back. But on the other hand, men could band together and say, you know what, ladies, I think we're just kind of done with this whole right to vote thing, and you no longer have it. And there's not a damn thing the women could do about it. But in the benevolence of the patriarchy, they don't do that. They say, meh, you go ahead. Play in the sand.
A lot of women, in my experience, they don't want to be the dominant one. They need to have some sort of a leadership from the men. And even though we have different roles and responsibilities, they still... I'm going to be all sexist by saying this, but just as you were saying, Josh, that no, it's just how nature works.
Right, and that's the idea. That's the difference between a description and a prescription. I'm not saying that this is the way we should all live our lives, that this is just the best way to do things and this is how we ought to do it. It's not what I'm saying at all. That's just how it is. It's the very nature of the biology. It goes right down to the trans argument. Can women be men? Can men be women? Nope. There's biological differences, and amongst those are the much denser bones, which allows us to carry more weight in muscle mass, which makes us a hell of a lot stronger than women. Are there exceptions? Sure. To prove the rule, yes, there are exceptions, granted. But by far, men are considerably stronger than women. Like, not just like, well, they're a little bit stronger. Like, no, it's a big difference. And I think that most people don't even realize it. Most men don't realize how much stronger they are. I think a lot of women don't realize how much stronger men are than them, because there's so much convenience and not all of the need for physical violence these days.
I would agree. And one of the things that my ex-fiance, I really wanted to marry, anyway, she was doing a whole bunch of medical courses when she was getting her degree in nursing as an RN, and she showed me in like these textbooks and stuff, and it's where women will naturally tend towards making decisions and judgments based upon emotion versus men who will make these different types of choices and whatever based upon logic. And I was reading that, I was like, well, that's really fucked up. That's kind of weird, but it made sense to me at the time, because that's what I did. I used logic and I leave emotion out of it. And that's what she was telling me. And she said, yeah, that's how I handle our relationship, and how we got into arguments constantly. And I said, yeah, you're just using your maternal instincts and emotion to argue with me, while I am trying to make it on a logical type of a decision. And it's kind of weird how it works. So that's where the weird dynamic of husband and wife, girlfriend and boyfriend thing comes into play, where people have to meet in the middle in order for a relationship to work. And unfortunately, ours never got to that point. And that's all I have to say for the moment. I'm probably going to be passing out here pretty soon.
So what if we did institute the draft for women?
I think we'd be fucked.
Well, why? It's not like we have to put them on the front lines, right? Like, just because they're drafted doesn't mean we have to go put them in battle.
Need potato peelers, ditch diggers, toilet scrubbers.
Just hardcore labor, not like a machine gun.
I mean,
they'd prefer that over the machine gun.
They gotta eat.
To be honest,
soldiers at the front line gotta eat. There's papers to be pushed. There's all the jobs that the women have been trending towards for the last 100 years or so, since the men told them that they had to have the right to vote and get out there in the workforce, and all these feminist talking points.
Well, I think the last time the draft was actually instituted was Vietnam, which was close to 50 years ago. So what was the purpose? And women were not associated with the draft itself.
We are.
And then
we have to sign up for the selective service. Every man is obligated to sign up for the selective service.
No, I said women.
Oh, women? Yeah. Well, that was one of the reasons they didn't want to vote. Didn't want the right to vote. It's because they didn't want to go to war. They had moral superiority without the right to vote.
Yeah, I've got a lot of information in regards to this. I just don't have enough energy. But other countries, Russia, Sweden, I can't remember how many other countries have tried actually putting women into the frontline situations, combat positions. It doesn't work.
Well, and why would it?
Well, I'm not saying that the women are not doing a good job. I'm saying that in the front lines that I've read is that, the men, like, if you see a woman that you've been working alongside versus another man you've been working alongside, the woman gets shot. The men are going to be
I bet demoralized.
Yeah, essentially.
Or what if she doesn't get shot? What if she gets taken, captured, and then had brutal things done to her and comes back with a baby that's half of the enemy? Like, how demoralizing is that?
Yeah, well, men are protective. Whether it's a girlfriend, a wife, a sister, a cousin, or a coworker, men tend to be protective. And I know that because I've been in combat and I've seen how that works. And I don't like having women in those same type of environments that I was around because it doesn't help. And it's no offense to women. I love women. But it doesn't help in those kind of situations. Police departments, firefighters, military. Yeah, you can't have that in there. But the same thing is if you were to say, oh, can a man treat children the same way that a young mother can? The answer is absolutely fucking not.
And according to the numbers, it's usually better. Single father households typically have better outcomes for the children than do single mother households.
I've not heard about that one.
Well, even the risk of abuse, the risk for abuse goes way up in a single mother household because what the fuck is she going to do if she gets some guy in there and starts beating the kids? She ain't going to do a goddamn thing. Again, we're right back to force doctrine because she's just not big enough and strong enough to handle the man, with a few exceptions. However, in a single dad household, if he gets a woman in there and she starts treating the kids like shit, he'll put a stop to that real fucking quick. So the abuse rates are going to be much higher in single mother households. And domestic abuse is higher in lesbian couples than it is in anybody else.
I've heard that as well, yes. I actually saw a report on that. I forget. I think it was Witsit that showed that. But, yeah, young single men.
Wait, what was that? Lesbians, what?
Lesbians have the highest rate of domestic violence.
That's funny.
Now, do you think that there's actually more abuse, or do you think there's less fear of turning in your partner in those types of relationships?
Yeah, what about homosexual men?
Well, lesbians are homosexual. They're all gay.
No, I mean men, though. Is there a statistic?
Oh, I'm sure there is. And I think it is relatively low.
I wonder what it. What's that?
I said I think it is relatively low compared to lesbian women.
Yeah, I would think that would be high too. Maybe. You just slug it out. Maybe that's just what they do.
Or at least slap it out.
They don't report it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I live in San Jose, California. I grew up in Fremont, which is about 15 miles north of here. And, the Silicon Valley area. There's a whole bunch of queers all over the place. I have never in my entire life met a married couple of lesbians ever. Not once. At least that I knew of. But that is what I've heard from multiple people that I would say I would trust their research in regards to that information. It's kind of weird. but it is what it is. All right. I'm going to listen in on YouTube in the background, but I have to go to bed. It's been a blast, gentlemen. So until next time.
Good night.
Have a great night.
Thank you, Anthony.
What'd you eat? Pasta.
I couldn't figure out how to unmute the call, Andrew. You call now, I'm sure, but thanks for hanging out, man. Finally found it. Not happy about this whole situation.
Zach, did you get a chance to watch any of that Tucker Carlson interview with Nick Fuentes that's setting the fucking internet on fire? That's divided, that just completely cleaved the Republican Party into?
Yeah, I watched it.
Did you watch it, Craig?
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I loved it. Have you seen his response to Ben Shapiro?
Yeah.
Oh, it fucking tears him up. Tears him up.
I think I will really like Nick in about 15 years. When Nick's about 15 years older, I bet you I would really like him. Yeah, once he matures a little bit, I think I will really like him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's evolving. Yeah. And I think when he gets like a radical, you know, I don't think he's being like, you know, I don't think he really means it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what that's one of the things I don't like about him. I mean, he jokes a lot, he trolls a lot, he rage baits a lot, and he tells a lot of truth. But he does it all the same way, and it's all mixed together, and you can't, makes it harder to decipher what's what.
Yeah, he's a very good speaker.
Well, and that he can speak.
You know what I mean?
But if you're putting all that stuff together and people can't differentiate when you're being sarcastic or when you're being honest or when you're just telling a joke or when you're just trying to get people pissed off or when you're just venting, if it all sounds the same and it all comes across the same and people can constantly pull clips like they can from him, because whether he's going off on super chats or if he's going off on somebody he just debated, it all kind of sounds the same. He says outrageous stuff in the same way that he says reasonable stuff, so you can't tell what he really means and what he is just being hyperbolic.
Yeah.
And I think if he could make that differentiation, it would make him a much better speaker.
Yeah, if he,
I was talking about this yesterday with
I know what you mean.
That we have online, IRON Media. They can make us say whatever they wanted, really.
Oh, yeah. Easy. I mean, it takes like 5 minutes worth of audio. They could do it with this show alone.
What, twist our words?
Yeah, create a voice model of us and then just use AI to make us say whatever the fuck we wanted. And Zach, I think you've brought this up before. There could be just like a small little web of 300 people watching this live, and there could be like 15,000 people out there on YouTube watching an AI version of us live, whereupon we go and say and do completely different things. And people's perception of IRM is completely skewed because they're watching an AI version of us being presented by whoever. In theory.
That would be fucked up. Yeah.
Guy here got sent a video of President Trump saying that he was the best flagger in the United States.
The best what?
Is that what they
removing?
They call them flaggers
and everything.
Like, I'd be hard pressed not to call him a flagget.
I could see him saying that though. You know, he's the greatest of all time.
I said, "Wow, what a flagger!" Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to see how much the support for Israel has waned. How so many people are just like, wait a minute, what? Something just doesn't seem right here. And all these crazy Zionist Christians coming out and just grasping at straws, just desperately trying to hold on to those donations that they get for doing just that.
Fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I just, it's sickening too. Like we're fucking owned by Israel right now.
Because, you know, MAGA.
We are their little bitch right now. It's fucking insane. Ah, man. I thought Trump.
I mean, that's how you make America great again. You make Israel great.
Right.
If Israel's great, then surely America will be great. So we just got to focus all of our money and attention and resources to making Israel great.
No, we're going to fucking burn with them for the shit that they're doing. I mean, not us, hopefully. But, I don't know, man. Dare I say, other countries now have a reason to say that we are the fucking big bully on the block.
Well, this is just like the 110th divorce.
Come after us?
Right, we're just the 110th abused wife that's saying, you know what, we're done getting beat. No more. We need a divorce.
You mean the people from
the other 109 countries that decided to kick Jewish people out for one reason or another?
Right, yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, God. And another thing Sal said the other night, fucking hilarious. He said, all their holidays are them running or hiding from someone.
They don't like to tell us this. Israel in the United Nations is the most unrecognized state of all the United Nations. Like 20-something countries that do not recognize Israel as its own country still. Never have.
Yeah. And many countries recognize Hamas as a actual, I forget, not a government, but they're a real thing to them. They're not a terrorist organization. I don't know how many, but there's quite a few countries.
Freedom Fighter.
And Israel has illegal nukes, and nobody seems to give a shit.
Like, imagine
I love that.
The terror
Legal.
that some people feel from ISIS and Al Qaeda.
Illegal, but yours are because we say so.
Well, when we use the CIA to prop up these guys, say, look, all you got to do is do a little freedom fighting. Do a little freedom fighting with these weapons and these tactics. And we'll just keep teaching you good weapons and tactics and feeding you money and feeding you arms. And you just be good little freedom fighters. I mean, it's not like we came up with the idea. That's where Hamas came from. Israel set them up. funded them, armed them, and used them as their boogeyman. Same way we did with Al Qaeda and ISIS.
And now there's a leader of Al Qaeda, head of a country or some shit, right?
I think Hamza bin Laden is gathering all of these
I think he was
fighters.
in the UN. He was in the UN the other day, I think. Like, what the fuck is going on? I forget who it is in this situation, but yeah, they let him in the UN, I believe. And he's like head of a country or some shit. He has some position, I don't know.
Gotta love the dead air.
No, I was going to say, I fucking forgot what I was going to say. It was something about Iraq or whatever we were talking about. You guys know that story about the Kandahar giant, right?
I've heard a few different versions, but yeah, the red-haired giants of Afghanistan.
You think it's real? I mean, I'm starting to think it's real because it's just like...
Well, here's a problem with that question.
It's coming from a lot of directions.
Do I think it could be real? Yes. Because I think it could be real would lead me to believe that I think the story of the Kandahar giant might not be true because I think the possibility is real.
Yeah.
Because I think there could be, I think there's a better chance they're going to lie and cover up and not give us any real information about it. So any information that does come out, I'm just going to automatically sort of not put a whole lot of stock in.
Sometimes I think I just like to live in fantasy land and believe it. Fuck it.
Yeah, I get that.
You know what I'm saying?
But sure, like when you look up in the sky and you think, you know what, I'm just going to decide I know what that is, how far away that is, and how big that is, and then base my entire cosmological view on the idea that I know what that is. You just got to sometimes say, you know what, I'm done fighting, I'm done arguing, I'm done asking, I'm just going to have to put my faith and belief in one side or the other. And for arbitrary reason XYZ, I'm going to put all my belief and faith into this one particular view and go with it and run with it just because, for whatever reason, because I can't really answer it for myself. Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. Damn, I forgot about the moon.
It's big and bright this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
in the Vermont.
Beaver Moon, 854.
You see that Vermont when it was discovered? Like Afghanistan, like that?
I don't think so.
Wait, what was that? Broke up.
Supposedly there was a flying carpet, a Vermont, those ancient.
Oh, I thought I vaguely remember hearing something about that.
Yeah, there was some reason that she had to go over there all of a sudden to the Middle East for like a surprise. Oh, Hillary's heading here when, they know their itinerary months ahead doing stuff like that. But one of those all of a sudden she had to go there to go do something. And that was the story around it. I want a flying carpet.
I'd take a flying soapbox made out of scarab beetle wings, but whatever. I guess a carpet could be fun too. Seems like it'd be hard to hang on.
I love a carpet. Well, it stiffens up in your eye, doesn't it?
Huh? What if you don't have to hang on just because it goes really slow?
Sounds better.
Like it flies, but just goes really slow.
Nah,
And
haven't you seen that?
Just above the ground. Well, the cartoon, sure. But that's just pure fantasy. The reality of the flying carpet are that it flies about an inch and a half off the top of the ground, and it goes really slow.
What about, what was that guy? You know what I'm talking about, Aronovich or some shit, and he had that, like podium platform with beetle wings.
Yeah, that's the one I was making fun of earlier. The one I wanted instead of the flying carpet was like, it looked like a soapbox derby car. You stand in.
Yeah, he like a little, and he had a little handlebars.
Yeah, that's the one.
And it fucking zoomed around, dude. He has video of it, or there is video of it.
Which is why I would prefer it to a flying carpet, because I'd have something to hold on to.
That thing is fucking moving. He said it created a force field around him. Allegedly. How do you get beetle? What? Can you buy beetle wings like that?
Yeah, I think you can get them on eBay. Yep. If I'm not mistaken,
So
I
I
thought
could
Walter had bought some
potentially
at some point.
Did you, Walt?
Yeah, I have. I've played around with them. I could never get them to do anything. So I think a lot of what we saw, I never saw a video of this thing moving, flying. I only saw photographs of it. That's all I ever saw.
Video of it.
I never saw a video of it.
I'll try to find it. I can't do it right now, but I'll try to find it.
But
you couldn't get them. You couldn't get them to float, Walt.
Right. I noticed when I watched.
You couldn't get them to hover.
No. I noticed when I watched back at the video that I had seen that happening in, this dude kept touching them with this weird thing. It wasn't a pointer, it wasn't a pencil, it wasn't a. It didn't, like, I couldn't figure out what the fuck it was. And then it looked like maybe one of those. No, it looked like maybe one of those razor handles that, like you click a new head onto, but the body part of the razor vibrates.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he was doing, was vibrating them somehow. And that has
Well, yeah, because that's the idea. That's how they would fly. So you would need to induce that, I guess. Right?
Maybe that's why I had to rub the lamp to get the carpet going. Thinking of still things, but anyway, never mind.
Did you guys hear about Dick Cheney passing Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see a whole lot on it. My buddy at work told me about it. It didn't pop up in my Google. I haven't seen anything on YouTube about it. Kind of weird.
Yeah, they didn't really make a big deal about it.
Yeah, I thought the same things, right? That it was weird that the only place I saw it was on a weird email I got that has news stories in it, and it literally was like the second or third one down. It had no headline about it in the click part. The click part on the email was like just a normal, like, whatever, I don't know what that, I have a few of those that I have just so we can find different stories that aren't actually fed to us through the Google feed. And on that one, not nowhere, nowhere else, like you said, Google feed, email, YouTube, I only got that one email that had that one story about it. And I thought that very thing, well, damn, that's weird that there's not more news about this dude passing away, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I found it because I think one thing popped up on YouTube. And I was at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, there were some flags here at half mast, some that weren't. I just passed a huge flag on the side of the highway. It was flying high, but the one up in Richmond yesterday was half mast.
Oh, I feel so much better. Woke up at 1:30 in the morning, had to go pee. Not a problem. I actually prefer it's a great time because it's enough time for me to wake up, do what I needed to do, get back in bed, and realize I still have time to fall back asleep before which is great. But then I didn't really have to go pee when I woke up. But then I did have to go pee about an hour and 15 minutes ago. I've been sitting here holding it this whole time.
You can go ahead and piss, Josh.
I did. Just got back. Freshened up my coffee.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Wait, be careful now. I want to mix those up.
What'd you say, Walter?
You got to be careful with that double maneuver like that. You might cross the street.
Wasn't pissing his coffee.
Tear a hole in the fabric of space-time and the end of existence as we know it. Just don't cross streams.
Man, I went into a bathroom yesterday. It was this little, I don't know what you would call it, bodega. It was like a tobacco shop and a convenience store and a chicken and gyro place. It's one big room. And I went into the bathroom. You know, it wasn't a new place. It looked like, not dirty at all, but just older. And I walk into the bathroom and I felt like I was in the future. All this stuff was like all the same, this gray and matte orange color, black walls that look like marble. And then on the mirror, there was 3 buttons lit up, like you could touch the mirror and mess with the lighting and all. It was weird, man. I was not expecting that going. I even told the guy, I was like, that's a cool bathroom, dude. That is pretty cool.
That's funny. Yeah, I wouldn't expect that.
The thing is, Zach, if you touch the wrong button, suddenly the floor drops away and you're in an elevator to the secret level.
And you still got to figure out what the 3 shells mean.
Will we ever know? I wonder if the writer or the director just kept that to himself, but he has a theory for it. You know?
Or he purposefully made it meaningless and arbitrary, just for the conversation to be had. Directors are weird, man.
Fucking everyone's weird.
I will say that this app has really gone out of its way to maintain its convenience. So now when you're on the phone, the mute button and the hang up button are right next to each other. So I've hung up at least 4 times during time on my phone.
I saw that. I was like, wait. Mine isn't next to it. Mine's far from it. Or not funny. It's like 2 spaces.
Are you on Apple or something?
No, Android.
When it's the small screen, like the small little tiny square, the big screen is like 2 or 3 up. But on the small, like when you go to like YouTube page and it turns into a small square, then it's right next to it.
Oh, okay. I don't like this light getting early shit, man. I like it dark in the morning till like 8.
Well, just remember, this is the way it should be.
Yeah.
What you're experiencing now
it'll
is
get
reality.
darker. It'll get darker.
It's reality.
Is it?
Yeah.
You sure?
Allegedly.
Okay.
No. Allegedly.
Yeah. Nah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I did read and drop a story about our sleep cycle, which ties into this whole, fucked up time changing thing they do to us every 6 months, or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. So at one point, until not too fucking long ago, actually, I'm trying to get back to figure out how the hell I'm ever going to pull up a story on my phone here. Let me see if that's even possible. Okay, I have found the file. So yeah, humans used to sleep twice every night. Continuous sleep was a modern, not evolutionary. So that's why you still wake up at 3 in the morning going, what the fuck? An 8-hour snooze was not the norm. Instead, people commonly slept in 2 shifts, one called first sleep, the next called second sleep. Each lasted several hours, separated by a gap of wakefulness for an hour or more in the middle of the night. This is based on historical records from Europe, Africa, Asia, and all over, describing how after nightfall, families would go to bed early, then wake up around midnight for a while before returning to sleep until dawn. Breaking the night into 2 parts changed how time felt. Quiet interval gave nights a clear middle. It made long winter evenings feel less continuous and easy to manage. The midnight interval was not dead time. It was noticed time. That shapes how long nights are experienced. Some people would tend to chores like stirring the fire or checking on the animals. Others would just stay in bed and pray or contemplate the dreams they had just had. Letters and diaries from pre-industrial times mention people using these quiet hours to read, write, or even socialize quietly amongst family or close neighbors. Many couples took advantage of this midnight wakefulness for intimacy. Literature as far back as ancient Greek poet Homer and Roman poet Virgil contain references to an hour which terminates the first sleep, indicating how commonplace the 2-shift night was. The disappearance of the second sleep happened over 2 centuries due to profound societal changes. Artificial lighting being a huge one of them, which has, destroyed stargazing and second sleep. In the 17 and 1800s, first oil lamps, then gas lighting, and finally electric light began turning night into more usable time. So instead of going to bed shortly after sunset, people started staying up later into the evening under lamplight. Biologically, bright light also shifted our internal circadian rhythms and made our bodies less inclined to wake after a few hours of sleep. Light timing matters, which is why they fuck with us with this daylight savings time bullshit. Ordinary room light before bedtime suppresses and delays melatonin, which pushes the onset of sleep later. The Industrial Revolution transformed not just how people worked, but how they slept. Factory schedules encouraged a single block of rest. And by the early 20th century, the idea of 8 uninterrupted hours had replaced a centuries-old rhythm of 2 sleeps. In multi-week studies that simulate long winter nights and remove parts of evening light, people in lab studies often end up adopting 2 sleeps, waking interval. A 2017 study of a Madagascan agricultural community without electricity found that people there still mostly slept in 2 segments, rising at about midnight. It goes on, but you get the gist of it. good Lord, it doesn't go on. It's really a lengthy article.
I've heard that theory before.
Talk into
I've heard that before.
Oh yeah, that's what my grandma always. I remember her doing that. Always.
And Nikola Tesla, didn't he have like a really weird way of sleeping? Like I think it was like 20 minutes, and then he would work, and then 20 minutes, and then he would work again. Like he never really slept. I don't know. I forget.
Something about
yeah,
that.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know the exact time. Don't quote me on that. He did something weird though. It worked for him. Did you know Sigmund Freud, before he was a psychiatrist, he had an infatuation with eels? He was trying to figure out, because nobody can figure out how they reproduce. You know what I mean?
Hello?
And he was obsessed with it.
Hello?
Hello? I hear you, Walter.
He was obsessed with it.
Something's going on. I didn't ring yet. I'm back on. Not sure what's going on. I was like, yeah. He's just trying to do an install now on the phone of a software update that it was waiting for Wi-Fi. Let me switch over to my internet so I can have this at least for a few minutes.
I got that yesterday.
Yeah.
Mine did it yesterday to me, yeah.
Well, I say that.
They're paying the ass.
Mm-hmm. Mine probably happened during the nights while my phone was off and the internet went off or whatever. I don't know what was going on. All right, let me see if I can do this.
All right.
And we do be running up on it. We've only got about 2 minutes left.
Shit.
Thereabouts.
There you are. There you are.
Nothing? Anything?
You there? You there?
All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I'm done, y'all. We're jamming. So.
All right, Zach. You have a safe day.
All right, Jack.
And we will talk to you probably Friday morning. Probably.
See ya. See ya, buddy. Be safe.
And as for the rest of you, you guys be safe too.
Thank you guys. I finally got in for the last minute.
Yeah, there you go. Oh wow, I'm on the camera.
But we do love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning. It's the best way to wake up. Next to you. Soldiers or whatever. Anyway, don't forget that we love you.
Bye.
Have a great rest of the week.
Bye, y'all.
We'll see you back on Friday morning. Until then, be good, be well, do good, do it well. We love you. Bye-bye.
Okay.